Welcome to today's episode of Heard and Seen Around. I am Rajesh Karipurath. This is my take on macroeconomic and geoeconomic data points which I find interesting. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I enjoyed curating it. Cheers.
Jamie Siddons, for Christ's sake, it's not a test match. Mark Waugh, of course it's not, mate. You're playing. I don't know what you're doing, but it isn't batting. Ricky Ponting, in a hierarchy, every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. I love mankind, it's people I can't stand. Charles M. Schultz, there's no secret about success. Did you ever know a successful man who didn't tell you about it?
Here's a reminder that wealth is local. Annual income needed to join the top 1% varies dramatically across India, from around 45 lakh rupees in Goa and 42 lakhs in Delhi to just 13 lakhs in Bihar. Maharashtra stands at 35 lakhs, Karnataka at 32, and Gujarat at 30, and Kerala at 26. The numbers don't mean people are richer or poorer by themselves. They reflect very different income distributions across states. In India, being in the top 1% depends as much where you earn as how much you earn. The world's profit league is dominated by American giants. Alphabet tops the list with an incredible $160 billion in annual profits, almost 16 times the roughly $10 billion earned by Reliance Industries, India's most profitable listed company. But this isn't an India versus America story, it's a story of scale. The US is a $30 trillion economy with companies like Microsoft, Apple and Amazon spending decades building global platforms. India is still in the early chapters. The exciting part, as India grows towards a $10 to $15 trillion economy, today's emerging leaders could become tomorrow's global profit machines. The next Indian giant may already be hiding in plain sight. This is becoming one of India's most fascinating financial rivalries. Bajaj Finance and Kotak Mahindra Bank now each manage around 5 lakh crores in assets with strong asset quality and healthy deposit growth. But Bajaj is still growing loans at around 20 to 24% compared to 15 to 16% for Kotak and earns a much higher net interest margin of nearly 10% versus Kotak's 4.7%. That's why investors value Bajaj at roughly 6.4 lakh crores, almost 70% higher than Kotak's 3.8 lakh crores. The question isn't who's the better business, it's whether Bajaj's premium growth is already priced in. India's retail investing engine is revving up again. Demat accounts climbed to a record 23.55 million in June, with 2.57 million new accounts added. The highest monthly increase in 4 months. CDSL contributed 2.09 million of these additions, while NSDL added 0.48 million. The surge comes just ahead of high-profile IPOs like NSE and Geo platforms, suggesting investor appetite is alive and well. One thing about Indian investors, they may take a breather, but they rarely stay away from the market for too long. India's household debt is climbing, reaching 45.5% of GDP by September 2025, up from 41.3% just 18 months earlier. The main driver isn't home loans, it's consumer and retail borrowing, which now accounts for 58.4% of household debt. But before sounding the alarm, there's some perspective. Thailand's household debt stands at 87.3% of GDP, Malaysia's at 69.9%, and China's at 59%. India's leverage is rising, but is still well below several major emerging markets. The challenge now is ensuring credit keeps fueling growth, not financial headaches. India's semiconductor ambitions are finally moving from PowerPoint to production. Under the 76,000 crore India Semiconductor Mission, 12 projects have now been approved, with Gujarat hosting at least 4 out of the top 7, including Tata's Chip Foundry, Micron, CG Semi, and Keynes. The projects span everything from chip fabrication and assembly to display manufacturing, helping build a domestic semiconductor ecosystem. Chips may be tiny, but they are becoming one of India's biggest industrial bets. Gujarat seems determined to prove that silicon isn't just for Silicon Valley anymore.